Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Patience Ogunbona here, and I'm here today to welcome you to the spring edition and the new edition of Inspiration to Achieve. So I hope that you join me because I'm here on Inspiration to Achieve, where I share inspiration to help you turn your aspirations to transformation and inspire others and provide you with insights that will help you achieve your life and business goals as well as thrive. And today on Inspiration to Achieve, I want to take the time to talk about the power of permission. So, like I said, my name is Patience Ogunbona. Welcome to March. I'm a transformational coach and a corporate and business trainer, an inspirational speaker and author, and also the founder of ATI Coaching. I'm also known as the visionary Introverted Women because I love to empower introverted women and help them to overcome overthinking, procrastination, self-doubt, and thereby helping them to achieve high performance that creates increased impact, influence, and income and help them to thrive. As a corporate trainer, I also provide leadership training and team engagement, inclusion and diversity, as well as emotional intelligence, thereby helping organizations to achieve synergy in their strategy for their 3Ps, which is people, performance, and process. So I welcome you today. And today, as part of, living by my message, I'm having a different location, as you can see. If you've watched me before on if you have watched me before on any of my Facebook lives, welcome Diane. Thanks for joining, and Adam on LinkedIn. So if you have watched me before, I always have a different location, and it's a closed set. Of course, part of my house where I'm very comfortable and I feel nothing can go wrong. But today, actually, I thought give myself permission, live by this message that I'm going to share today, and go to a different location. So, and a different location that I wouldn't ordinarily use. So I'm using my kitchen today and I'm actually loving it. I'm hoping that there's no echo and it's going very well. And if you can see me, comment. I want you to comment and I want you to engage. Today I'm coming to you live on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And later on, if you want to catch this on replay, you can catch it on YouTube. And my hope is that this will come to a radio station near you very soon. So welcome again. And I guess talking about the power of permission, the truth about it is if you spend your life trying to fit in, finding yourself and giving yourself permission can become difficult. Yeah. So it requires you to step away and step out and give yourself that right to actually be who you want to be. The other thing to remember is that when you spend your life asking for permission, especially permission, think about it. Children tend to ask for permission and you get a lot of no's not because of maybe always, it's not because of the actual fear or actual danger, it's because of perceived danger. And if you spend most of your life getting no's instead of yeses, it becomes important that you start bringing up yourself, nurturing yourself, to give yourself permission to be more, do more, and have more. And that is really what I want to talk about. But I also want to talk about the fact that when we talk about permission, you have the negative and you have the positive. There are always two sides of the coin. And the negative bit, obviously, would be where you are passive about doing stuff. So in a sense, you've given and you allow things to happen to you. And they say what you permit persists. So you've got to start adulting. I remember buying a T-shirt 2 years ago, going to Disney for the whole family. And it said, I'm tired of adulting. I'm off to Disney. So I think, and truly, if you've been to the Disney parks, sometimes you say, is this an adult or is this a child? Because of the amount of excitement that the parents have as well. So that T-shirt was very apt. But the truth about it is, When you passively allow things in your life that you shouldn't, then you are giving it permission to control your life. And what you permit persist in control, persist in creating the life that you don't want. So in order to be able to create the life that you want, unfortunately, you've got to give yourself the permission to do so. Yeah. And that is what we want to talk about today. We want to help you to be able to do that. Next week, I'm having a guest who will be talking about introversion and extroversion from the Black woman's perspective. And why that in particular? Because growing up as a Black woman, or in Africa, you might find that you grow up in a controlled or controlling environment majorly, and it's not as free as you want it, especially if you're a woman. So when you get out of that system, or when you get out into the world, many women don't realize it, but you now need to start giving yourself permission to do a lot of things. You need to start giving yourself permission to run the life that you want to run. And I also recognize that a lot of introverted women are restrained. And it's not, I guess it's part of trying to fit in so much, part of trying to act extroverted. And after some time, you just think, I'm just going to give up and I'm going to just withdraw. But the truth about it is, you need to come to a place where you adapt to a certain degree to be able to meet the conditions and the situations and the environments that you find yourself. Or alternatively, you need to give yourself permission to be your authentic self. Now, your authentic self can be subject to criticism. It can be subject to negative feedback. It can be subject to attacks by people. But you need to give yourself the permission to go out and be who you want to be, regardless of what people think of you. So I want to talk about the fact that giving yourself permission is important, because you give yourself permission, one, to be happy. You know, I remember growing up, or even not growing up, many years ago, at least 15 years ago, where I would wake up in the morning and I'll have this sense of dread. I remember listening to Mel Robbins, who talks a lot about anxiety, and she was saying, actually, she's experienced that. And I was really happy that somebody else could talk about it. So I would wake up for no reason. Life seemed good. I had a job. My kids were fine. You can't pinpoint what is wrong, but you just feel like that impending sense of evil, impending sense of danger. One of my mentors calls it evil foreboding. And I realized that I had grown up in a way being anxious and fearful about doing things because of the amount of, no, you can't go there, no, that is dangerous, no, you shouldn't do this. And of course, you know, or children should be seen and not heard, for example. Like I said, different cultures, different upbringings. You know, if you have parents that are controlling or those that are really liberal, you know, you can have different challenges. So I had one of each, and one would say, don't go, and one would say, try and go as much as you can. Of course, I had a lot more of don't go, don't swim, don't get near water, don't do this. So I would wake up every day and realize that living was scary, because there's a lot of don't do this in case this will happen, don't do that. And I thought to myself, are you not an adult now? And that's the scary bit. You suddenly have to, the inner child is fearful and is still in there, and it's controlling your adult self. So I had to find a way to switch myself into parenting that inner child to find confidence. So I had to wake up and start giving myself permission to be happy. I give you permission to be happy. I give you permission to dream big. So you need to give yourself permission to dream big. I always say that mediocrity never served anybody. So if you're thinking mediocre and you're playing small, it's because you're thinking, I need someone's permission to look bigger, or to feel bigger, or to do bigger, or to go higher. And the truth is, and the main issue is, when you go around people, your peers, that are not looking at where you're going, there will be peer pressure for you to remain small, because they wouldn't encourage you and go, yeah, you can go big, because none of them can actually see what you can see. So you have to give yourself permission to go big for what you can see that is big in you to go for. So the permission you need to give yourself, I said, one is to be happy, two is to dream big. Because if you're waiting for people around, especially if you're at the stage of growth, you will not find people around telling you, yeah, oh, go for it. Yeah. No. So you need to give yourself permission. And that means you need to give yourself permission to take risks. When I was younger, taking risk was kind of like a, no, you can't do that. You can't get in the same car with all your family. You can't do, so taking risk was not encouraged, not really. Like I said, one parent would say, oh, go for it. buy that, do this. And the other would say, absolutely not. You're going to get hurt. You're going to cut your fingers. Now, I'm not proud of this, but I want to share it, because if you're a parent bringing up your child in a controlled way, not allowing them to take risks, guess what? They're going to be relying on you for decision making. They're going to be relying on you for a lot of things. So I went to a boarding school, and it was a military school. So I got there, and there is a hierarchy of control and hierarchy of people. You're the first year, you be controlled by the second year, third year, and all that. And they would send you to do chores and do tasks for them. As you get to the next level, you send the level next under you. So I remember arriving new into the space, and I was told, oh, go get that matches and light the candle for me. And I was like, I can't. And they said, what? I think the person talking to me did a double take and thought, no, I didn't hear correctly. You can't light the matches? I said, no, yeah, because it will burn my hand. We were not allowed to light matches. So I was like, yeah, people who looked after us when we were growing up, because my parents were comfortable. They light matches for us. We don't light matches. And the senior person said, that's the end of your lack of independence from today. You are going to light matches every time I see you. I'm going to send you to do all sorts of things. And one way I'll have to say is I'm grateful for that experience, because it made me just think, how irrational is the fear of this fire, of lighting the matches? And so what I want you to do is, there's some people bringing up their children without allowing them to take risks. There's some adults that haven't learned to take risks from childhood. Oh, don't climb that tree to graze your knee. I say, give yourself permission now to take risks. Also, I want you to give yourself permission, and this is for introverted women, and something I had to do, and I encourage my clients to do. Give yourself permission to step away when the external stimulus is too much, and don't feel fearful. And if you're being controlled by somebody who's extroverted and goes, yeah, you have to be here, you have to be there, you have to give yourself permission to walk up to them and say, thanks, but no thanks. If I do this, I'm not going to survive. Now, yeah, it can happen if you hear the doorbell. Then that is part of giving myself permission to work in a different space today. So if you hear the doorbell, I apologize. But, so give yourself permission as an introverted woman to step away for a while and recuperate and get yourself back, refresh yourself if the external stimulus is too much. Give yourself permission to be a child again. I remember when I was feeling really low and I lost my mom and I was looking for things to make me happy. And I remember the therapist saying to me, just go to Tesco, get one of those trolleys and find a space that is open, put your leg on it and just go wee down the aisle or something, and just release yourself and be a child again. Exhibit that unadulterated joy that comes with childhood that some of us have suppressed, maybe abused as a child, or the struggles of life have made us forget how to be joyful. You need to give yourself permission. You need to allow yourself and empower yourself by saying yes to yourself on many things. Now, like I said, there is the negative and there is the positive. But let's see, if you give yourself loads and loads of yeses to go for things, Yes, you're saying, I'm taking responsibility, I'm going to give myself. What does that do for you? Well, for starters, I believe that it can help with your confidence. It can help you build confidence. Because when you do stuff you're afraid you couldn't do, the bolder you get, pass or fail, you have stepped out over that barrier or boundary and move from what your discomfort zone is, because I don't like calling it comfort zone, of course, because when we're there and we're not growing, you're struggling with, you'll be struggling with that discomfort of just staying still and not having momentum. Because, as my mentor in the John Maxwell team would say, the spirit within you craves deeper and bigger expression of who you are and your potential. So when you're in the comfort zone, all you're doing is trying to keep the barriers and the gates around you, and it's not comfortable. You're making sure, I don't want to step out. No, no, no. And you need to give yourself permission. And once you step out, by giving yourself permission, you step into your learning zone, you step into your fear zone and face your fear, you step into your learning zone, and then you move on to your empowerment zone. You keep going. And once you feel empowered, you master that skill, that fear, and you move on to the next thing calls you. I believe that when you begin to say yes to yourself and use the process of saying yes to yourself, you can beat procrastination as well. Because the reason for procrastination can come from fear, can come from overthinking, so many reasons. I'm bringing out a resource later that will give people more insights about this. But, that sense of ownership that you take by saying yes allows you to beat procrastination, to do it afraid. Again, do it afraid. You might be afraid, but do it afraid. And in so doing, that sense of ownership that says, how I make my bed, I'm going to lie on it. And you learn and you become that adult in your life that is adulting, that is parenting that little scared child, or it's allowing that little get scared, that little child to get excited, really excited about doing something, that and discovery. When you hold yourself back, you put yourself down, you are not able. Hi, Mubina. Thanks for joining. And Adam as well. And Diana on LinkedIn. Nice to have you here. So when you hold yourself back, you are suppressing that childlike, what do you call it? Is it excitement that goes with just doing something, discovering something new? So give yourself permission to live. Basically, that's what I'm saying. The other thing is, I believe that one of the ways that you can conquer imposter syndrome or self-doubt is by giving yourself permission to fail or succeed. And so you take absolute responsibility. And I believe that when you do that, you're edging towards what I call freedom. Freedom to be, to do, and to have. And it says that, I like this quote that says, freedom is not the permission to do what you like, it's the power to do what you ought or what you really desire. And that's by O.S. Guinness. I like it a lot because when you think about freedom, when you think about permission, I want you to think about giving yourself the power to do what you ought to do or need to do to succeed. Give yourself that permission, because if you're waiting for people in the world to cheer you on, guess what? Many people are not great at cheering other people. There's also actually, let's see if she slips and falls. Let's see if she makes a mistake. Then at least we will know that what we'll be saying is true. Of course, life is full of slips and falls and mistakes and grazes and whatever. But there are people who would want to ring fence you. I'm not saying go fatalistic and just do whatever you want. No. But by being restrained, you're not living. And I know this because I grew up really restrained. And then I had to make a decision at some point in my life to start releasing myself. And what I did began to help clients. So I used to be afraid when I first got into the UK to travel on my own to London. I needed my husband. And so I guess I decided there to go for it. And I said, and my husband started saying to me, oh, well, it's fine, I'll take you here, I'll take you there. But after some time, he said, what's the worst that could happen? If you get lost, you ask people questions. And I started to go. And guess what? I ended up working in London twice. I live in Kent, but I ended up working in London twice. And then I presented with clients who had the same kind of challenges, and I was able to help them overcome it in one session. Just one, because, I'd conquered that fear. Giving yourself permission to face your fear, whatever that fear is, face that Goliath, find the sling and shoot it on the Goliath's head. That's what you need to do. Give yourself permission to do it. Also, I want to, touch on one point, which is that when you're a leader, you need to give yourself permission to be yourself. Because when you are authentic, when you are vulnerable as a leader, you are giving your followers permission to follow suit with doing what you're doing, to model you. And when they are authentic, they would express where they struggle, and you can help them overcome the struggle. And in an organization, that is useful because it will help with performance management, where somebody feels that my leader, my manager is authentic and shows their vulnerability. I will show mine rather than hide my mistakes. Give yourself permission for that. So, all these things I'm able to help if you need help and you need support to be able, because I found really I'm doing this because I've heard a lot of women holding themselves back. Clients, potential clients, people that hold themselves back because of judgment of others, because of fears from childhood, because of not knowing how to move forward without giving themselves permission to fail forward or to lean forward into growth. So it's not just, if failure is a bad word for you, just say lean forward into growth. I keep taking steps into growth. And I find that, because of this, I designed a program called Harness Your Strength. And it's a 4-week program, and it helps you to look at yourself, to look at where you are, and to reveal what is underneath your restraint and resistance to moving forward, and help you overcome the overthinking that goes around and round and round, and yet you're still in one place, procrastination, and you're able to move forward and begin to deliver what you ought to deliver, to live a life of purpose and to fulfill your purpose, whether it be business, whether it just be career, you're able to move forward. So this is a life coaching program that provides you with the skills, the tools, the capability you need to actually assess yourself, to come up with resources from within that you're able to constantly give yourself permission to live the abundant life you need to live. So when you watch this later on, I know that some people have joined me, and I'm excited, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Hashtag replay, communicate, and let me know what insights you got from this. I'm really excited to be bringing this to you, and I hope that it's made a difference. Remember that giving yourself permission allows you to take ownership, take responsibility, live your fullest life. Recognize that in many instances, people won't give you permission, so you need to give yourself. So I want to live as usual when we do this Facebook, when I do this Inspiration to Achieve. I tend to want to leave you with a quote that will get you thinking. And so here's one of them by Marianne Williamson. And it says, "We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And we let our own light shine," i.e., we give ourselves permission. We unconsciously give others permission to do the same. So, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So think about it. If you let your light shine, if you give yourself permission, if you allow yourself to be the best person that you can be, to invest in your growth, invest in yourself, I believe that it all boils down to permission. I believe that there is that inner child that wants to grow up and wants to develop, that is being suppressed by not stepping into your adult self and saying, you can do this. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can have it. You can have the sweeties. Of course, remember, if you have all the sweeties and the and the tub of ice cream, you have to take responsibility for going on the treadmill or run or jogging. Otherwise, it's gonna go the wrong place. Like some of us discover, you gain the benefits of permission, or you gain the negatives of permission, like I've said in the beginning. So it leaves me to say thank you for taking the time to spend some time with me today. I hope it's been valuable to you. And I want to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get, if you miss the sessions that I offer every Wednesday at 12 p.m., then you can actually access it later on. So there'll be a link to that. There'll be a link to connect as well, to talk about my Harness Your Strengths and Thrive coaching program that you can join. So it's just left for me to say, have a lovely, lovely, lovely rest of the week. Have a lovely March as well. Start the way you want to continue. Start how you want to finish. I encourage you to do that. And if at all you are surrounded by people that are not shouting your praise or encouraging you to move forward, okay, watching me and being part of my community or being connected to me means that I want to let you know that I'm rooting for your success, and I know that you can do it and that you can succeed. So take care and God bless.